Veil fantasy with the Gauntlet. We are playing a Bronze Iron Age version of the Veil on a fantastical setting, and we are going through the adventures of some urban folk as they try to make a living on a city full of mysteries and bounds. The Gauntlet is a community focused on online gaming, especially indie and smaller role-playing games. You can find details about it on the links below. We are covered by the Gauntlet inclusivity and open table policies, so you must abide by those, and if for any reason you need to leave at any moment, there is no issue at all. We are also using certain safety tools, namely we have lines and veils that is on its own tab on the Character Keeper. So I ask everyone to reference to that, and also that if there is anything that you feel that should be there and is not there yet, you just don't feel like dealing with today, just feel free to add it. We're also going to be using the X card. So if at any point there is a situation that you don't want to be involved, just signal it verbally on chat or just to the camera, signal it somehow. And then we also have script change. Script change is more of an editing tool. So while the X card is more, I just don't want to go there. If there is a scene in which you want to experience, but you are not so comfortable with, you say, well, let's go to script change because I want to create this careful. And then you can fast forward, rewind, cut certain scenes, fade some to black, etc. Last session, we followed back at Vic, which we had not seen during the weird events of the contract signing that happened. Instead, Vic was confronted by a familiar face of a friend that they had to execute themselves in the fulfillment of their duties. The suffering related to that was so much that he had asked our empath Ligaya that they removed the emotional attachment to those memories. Unfortunately, because there was no meaning associated to those memories, they have faded away with time. So they had to go back and piece together what exactly had happened before, and they realized that their friend was committing something that was a crime against the very building blocks of the society, of the pacts that sustained it, the very things that Vic relived. And not only that, it seems that their friend is stuck on this loop, unable to really die, until he's brought back to fulfill this, well, to Vic's eye, iconoclastic behavior. Following the trail, or the psychic trail, they found out that going inside of the mind of the dead, they found out that it was preserved somewhat by something massive, something that belongs to the shadow. And they found out that it is hidden inside the shadow realm, somewhere near the catacombs in which the Order has their base of operations. So let's go around introducing each of the characters, and let's go by the order of the Character Keeper.
Hello, I'm Marco. I'm playing Gaius Agrippa, the architect in the Veil playbook, but I've reskinned it as a wizard, and I am very on the trail of a mystery. I'm not letting up. I need to find out the truth, and There's a lot of things that are unclear right now that I need to get to the bottom of. So I think I've sobered up quite a bit since the last session, and since the injuries that I received last time, I had an advance, and I've taken the advancement. There is no spoon, which when I am doing something in the veil, I think it says, how does it put it? When you describe yourself manipulating the digital environment in order to mitigate a danger to your person, you have 1 armor. So that's more than I had before. So I'm looking at it as I have the ability to make like a shield spell out of the veil magic. And my beliefs have not changed.
Okay. I guess I'll go, unless there's more. All right. I'm Maria. I use she, her pronouns. I'll be playing Ligaya, the empath, who also uses she, her pronouns. She is the tavern keeper in Gaius Agrippa's bar bathhouse. And her beliefs have changed since the last session. She believes that people are ruled by their emotions and that she should help people navigate their emotions, but instead of trying to stay away from expressing feelings and feeling things herself, she's accepted that if she cares about people or has friends, she is willing to be afraid and show that she's afraid, which means that she's going to be scared a lot. And let's see, since the last session, she's sort of trying to figure out what the best way to support humanity is with regards to all of these shadowy goings on. And I think that it'll be interesting to see which side she eventually picks, if she picks a side. And then it also took a move from my advance. It's just basically the ease move, which is when I use the probe move. I can ask questions about people's feelings and things, which is basically what Ligaya does. And then I also had harm from the last session, so I don't know if we're going to try and resolve that or if I can just use cred to resolve that. I don't know.
That will be a good opening scene, everyone mending
Okay.
themselves.
I think that's about it for Ligaya. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm Toby, and my character is Vic, and Vic is the honor bound. He's had a happy life until recently, running around the city, enforcing obligations, working with Gaius and Ligaya to track down people who violated their obligations and mete out the appropriate punishment. But it all kind of went wrong in the last, I guess in game terms, in the last day, when, as Ludo mentioned, he first of all saw somebody that he believed he had previously killed, but who turned out to be alive again, or in some way like alive again. And that led him into a whole load of kind of self-doubt and conflict, because it turned out that this is one of his friends that he'd killed, but he'd forgotten. The reason he'd forgotten was because he'd gone to Ligaya in a complete emotional mess a year ago, and she'd essentially muted it all for him. And so now it's all coming back. Plus, he suddenly realized that he was not as independent and strong as he thought, and in fact, he was quite dependent on emotional support / manipulation from Ligaya just to get through the day. I don't know why Maria's making a face like she wasn't manipulating me. And also, it also seems that like one of his purposes in life had previously been to protect Pearl, who was being chased by the iconoclasts, who was the last of her order. And he's kind of had a hint now that, without realizing it, what he did was kill the second last member of her order for something completely independent. So he's having just generally a huge emotional crisis, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with that. He managed to not get harmed in the last session, amazingly. Well, not physically anyway. Emotionally, he's in a pretty bad way. Yeah, so that's where Vic has got to.
So how about our construct?
I wasn't here at the last session, but I'm playing apparatus, which is a strange bronze construct from a previous time. Last time I was playing, I found out that there were these strange shadowy things, and one of them thought I was a god. And that's all okay with me. I can be the god of the small fleshy pink things. Yeah, I think it's about it. Character's name, he doesn't really speak, and is silent but quite dangerous.
So let's start by resolving Wolf's love letter to find out what has been happening to Wolf in the meantime.
Should you read it out to the folks at home?
You are muted.
All right, so I just rolled a 9. It's a flat roll, yeah.
No, it's a normal roll, so it's pleasant
Yeah.
immersion.
Only have no, I did. I unlocked powerful last time, so I'm going to roll with powerful. So that will bring it up to an 11.
Good. So what do you get on the 10 plus?
So, the love letter. You keep replaying the same memory over and over again. If I'm in life, breathe into the forge of the gods. As you try to remember how you feel about these powerful shadows of the veil, roll. On a hit, you unlock a new emotion. Assign a value to the state. Then, on a 10 plus, you were not only a tool of the god, you were able to assemble purpose and divinity into coalesced shadow. Acquire a powerful cybernetic tag. You still need to install it into yourself or others. As I'm an apparatus, I'm tagged all over the place, so that's fine. I'll install this later on in someone to make them less fleshy and better.
So, but so you use it powerful. So you've been meditating on these memories about the Forge of the Gods, and you're feeling powerful about that. Can you go into more details about that?
A remembered sense of purpose, I think, is the best way to describe it. So, half remembered from previous times, but as well as just being a weapon, it is also was something that traveled with the gods, and as a result, it sort of feels itself at the moment more superior as well to those around it. But I think that will also allow me to unlock peaceful, because it has purpose sets him to be a little less than more than just a weapon that walks. It's actually more of a custodian and a guardian, maybe.
So the thing that you created, or rather recreated, what is it like?
I think it is. It's a if you looked at it, it would appear like a bronze set of eyes and a cable. When Wolf installs this into someone, it means they will be able to communicate with each other.
Excellent. So you get the feeling for what seems like an instant, which you stop getting a grip on your flashy pink companions, and instead and then after what seems to drag in minutes, suddenly they are back, and you can feel their pain and suffering and hurt. How do you feel now about your role as their defender now that you know all this?
Who do I feel? Whose hurt do I feel?
You feel that Ligaya and Gaius, they are both severely hurt.
I think he will feel will feel a sense of obligation, and will try to head to help them. I think. Oh yeah, I think he feels. Whilst he was meditating, those who have endured him have been harmed, and will feel sad about that. And I think, yes, go to seek them out and see if we can help them.
So as Wolf makes the way to to this house in the outskirts where you are coming out bloody, what does Wolf see? So each of you says in which status they are after coming from the massive psychic feedback that they encountered in that shadow realm.
This is what I see regarding.
No, they're
and
gonna tell
Gaia,
you how they look when you look at them.
Oh, right. Okay. Sure.
I think Ligaya probably has recovered from it a little bit better than Gaius. Like, she, seeing as she's in contact with the flow of emotions more often, like it was still kind of terrible, but I mean, she probably looks kind of drawn, maybe a little wobbly, but otherwise, I don't know if there's like a physical manifestation of the psychic backlash from her that you can see. She might be, if I don't remember what time of the day it is, but let's just say if it's bright, she's probably squinting. It probably mostly looks like a terrible hangover.
I don't believe that you've met Vic before. But essentially, you see him. I think he kind of stumbles out of the doorway of this house into the street, and he's a big guy, and he's wearing a really quite daft-looking white, like pure white robes that are now a bit splattered with a bit of blood and a bit of dirt, and has a huge longbow strapped over his back, and he looks really stunned and confused, like he's just had a kind of fundamental belief change, which is exactly what's just happened to him. Yeah, so again, he's also kind of blinking in the light and trying to figure out what's just happened to him.
And how is Gaius? Since Gaius took the worst of the toll of this.
Yeah, I think he's cleaning the blood from the massive nosebleed from that extremely painful backlash and headache, which was very different than a magical attack with the veil. It came from something else. There was a thing about using credits to heal up. I don't know how that works out in the session. Do we pay for healing potions at a local shop, and I can take care of that?
Yeah, that's something that we'll establish later. So you see them on this poor status, and you already feel a strange vibe coming from them. You get the feeling like there is this strong intelligence that has marked Gaius, and you get the feeling that Vic is made to serve. The closest you have to a king is the feelings that God might have to their high priest.
And that's we're feeling towards Vic, right?
Yeah, you get the feeling, this kind of inherent worship. Like Vic seems to represent an authority that feeds on to feeds Wolf to some degree.
Okay.
Who is the god and the high priest? Which way around is it?
You will be the high priest, because in a way you are the high priest of the very pact that the gods forged.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. So do any of them look in physical harm or distress at this present moment in time?
Ligaia and Gaius. And the Gaius also seems to have the attention of this massive inhuman intelligence too.
Mm-mm-mm. And this inhuman intelligence, is this a sort of a metaphysical presence, or is there some sort of conduit to it? What does it feel like or look like?
Why don't you give me a lift the veil? And how are you feeling about sensing this other massive intelligence?
Currently, I will be feeling peaceful towards it. It has not done anything to harm me. So let's try doing both dice rather than one. So that will be a 6 + 1 to 7.
Okay, so you only get an impression. So you get this you get this supernatural feeling. Like it's not strong enough as the thing has a grip on Gaius. It's not like what happened with the contract between the iconoclast and Veles.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like you get the feeling that it's like when you examine something with using all your uh, extra human capacities, but also that it's not seen to be strung by causality. You get the feeling that it's not that Gaius is being observed now. You can feel it observing Gaius since Gaius was a thing and far into the future. Like the intelligence is casting a shadow upon Gaius, upon all of his life, and scanning it.
It sounds like it might be connected to the same sort of things that Wolf is. So I'm going to pull that stream of data and the thing scanning it. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to try and pull the abyss stairs back at it to see through its my senses what it's reading.
Is Gaius aware of this connection?
Yes, but not to the degree that Wolf is now. Thankfully,
No.
he does not realize that it's operating at 4 dimensions.
He definitely doesn't, because he fails on a 4.
Oh. Okay. Okay, so I guess on that case, yeah, you try, because you try to get it from a human perspective, and you find that there is nothing about this intelligence. This is completely something new, and your experience with the humans is frustrating at best. So you get the feeling that thing might actually be some sort of competition. You have
Hold on, I just
no.
realized I could have used cybernetics there actually as a tag, and that with powerful would have taken me to a 7, I think, because I could use multi-spectrum eyes to try and understand, or the HUD to understand what it is a bit more, maybe.
Okay, then bump it to 7-9 and get 1 humanity.
Take 1 humanity, right? Okay. And I'm going to choose from the abyss stairs back. For spending on a 1 for 1, I'm going to divulge a belief or truth about yourself in order to inflict humanity harm on whatever this presence is.
You get a name for the presence. You get it that it's called the Curator, and you understand that it's a threat to the way that humans organize themselves, even if you don't know if another type of society will serve the humans or not. But certainly it's capable of disrupting the current arrangement. And it seems that its entire purpose is to get people that are belong to a selected few and basically create an imprint of their minds in the veil and to preserve their consciousness forever. However, you are also aware that this action deprives them of all identity and knowledge that they once held.
Okay.
And you get a recollection of the shades that inhabit the catacombs while you were working with Purpose, and they seem to be unable to communicate the knowledge of the orders, and you realize that they cannot convey the knowledge of the orders because they don't have it anymore. The curator has imprinted on them and taken them and kept them.
My general feeling is this being all up in Gaius's grill is not a good thing. So I would like to think about how I can disconnect them by analyzing.
Okay, go for it. How are you feeling about that? Powerful?
No, sad, because I've got to disconnect it, whether it's good for Gaius or not.
Do we just see you staring at Gaius this entire time?
Yeah, just silently, just sort of steps up, just looks at him. So that's a 9.
He's mostly a statue, so I'm not really that unnerved.
I don't
by
know.
him.
Hoof deployed cybernetics, so maybe.
Its eyes sort of are glittering and glowing, I suppose.
So
Yeah.
he kind of looks like he's scanning me.
Yeah.
So you get to ask too.
How is this greater intelligence vulnerable to me?
You know that you are peers. You know that both of you are demigods, constructs of the gods. And you know that it's vulnerable because while you were created to rule, they were created to serve. So you know that if you can face it as an equal and establish dominance, it will be predisposed to follow along with whatever you decide.
Okay. What is my enemy's true position? What's it trying to do to Gaius? I suppose it's what I'm really trying to figure out.
So you are
Dominate it.
declaring it your enemy.
Sorry?
You are declaring it your enemy.
It's a demigod sort of half living inside Gaia, so I don't necessarily think it's a good thing. Demigods should get their own bodies, not my traveling companions' bodies.
Well, you get the feeling that it is going to, once the Gaius dies, he's going to make an imprint of him and make a new Gaius.
Hmm.
An actual new Gaius, like a second copy of him.
Well, technically, Gaius will be dead, so it will be like what happened to your friend.
Oh, God. This is way outside Vic's comfort zone.
But we're unaware of this. Only Wolf knows.
Yeah, you are aware that you have captured the attention of something powerful and alien. Not exactly what that entails.
I'm not gonna let this thing copy the human. That seems unholy to me. So I am going to use cybernetics on my interface, which will be jamming, and I'm gonna try and sway it to let Gaius go, and I'm going to do that with a demigod-like command. And I think Wolf's mouth will open for the first time, and it will sort of say in a booming voice, "Release him." So I'm going to try and do that with powerful.
So you are approaching Gaius to do this.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to interrupt the move, but Vic really wants to interrupt the move because Vic doesn't know what the hell's going on and would like to try and step between the two of you to protect Gaius.
Gaius basically casts a spell to envelop himself in like a magical armor made out of veil material, because I think Wolf's approaching me in an aggressive stance, and I cast a shield spell.
Funny thing, Gaius, why don't you give me a lift the veil and tell me how you are feeling about Wolf?
So I think having touched something that powerful, it hurt me. But I think I'm feeling powerful. And I just don't remember. I'll just roll powerful and find out what happens.
Okay.
Just don't know where the darn dice roller went. I gotta find the link again.
I feel like at some point during this thing, the guy wants to like probe people's reactions. Like, I don't know when would be a good time for that, but she's just like, why? Oh,
I think
no.
do all the things now, because I suppose the payoff is I'm going to try to ultimatum this thing out of Gaius's head. We've lost a Ludo.
Yeah, I was like, we lost Ludo.
Invisible Ludo.
So I got telling okay, Ludo. I got a 12 on lift the veil.
So the most amazing thing happens when you conjure the veil to create a semi-illusory, semi-physical displacement around you. You stop feeling the presence of the intelligence. And not only that, you get the idea that you can actually use the veil to hide anything from it. But the moment you try to, for a little bit, to uncover yourself from the veil, you can feel it again. It seems that whatever is the connection that it has to you, it's not like it's omnipotent. It's like it's something that you can actually divert or trick. It seems like this is an improvised tool. Maybe that's why the friend that was copied for Vic was not as perfect. Also, I guess Ligaya has Ligaya is aware that these people have been spiking sad and powerful. Because Ligaya is always aware when people spike their emotions. So at least that you can assume that they have knowledge about.
Sad, powerful beings. Okay. does it feel like the powerful spikes have been just like overwhelmingly powerful? Like, is this a thing where like it's escalating and people are just like, I am more powerful and I will continue to become more powerful? And
I mean, I don't think it still has escalated, but let's see what Vic and Wolf do.
okay.
Vic is, I think, the only one here who's pretty much completely unaware of what's going on. All he can see is like the physical body language of Wolf stepping up to Gaius. Gaius, is your spell visible?
I think when I first cast the spell, I'm engulfed in a magical representation of armor, and then it fades. But if someone who is skilled in magic were to, use detect magic or something, they would see that I have this magical protection. But when I do it, you see it happen. And I think I'm gonna voice this shield spell that I put up appears to have blocked that thing from my head. Whatever that was that I touched in there.
What thing in your head? Says Vic.
Oh, when we were investigating your dead friend's mind, there were a lot of things to investigate while we were in there. And I opened one of the scrolls and tried to read the scroll so we could understand what it was that was affecting him. And that's when I cried out and got the nosebleed because I got a backlash from the presence of whatever the being was that was resurrected your dead friend, whose name I also forgot. I'm sorry.
We've all forgotten it. So just normal Saturday morning then. Okay. No, whoa, no. This is not okay. I killed the guy because he deserved to be killed because he'd violated an obligation. Then he came back. Now he's dead again, right? End of story. Situation resolved. Nothing more to worry about. Let's walk away. Like,
no, but we saw while we were in there that he's going to keep coming back because this being is resurrecting him again and again and again.
And now this being was in your mind.
Yes.
So this
But
being
I
was.
think I pushed it out by casting this spell. But I got the impression that as soon as I drop the spell, it's gonna come back.
Or jump to somebody else.
But it's not omniscient or omnipotent. It's powerful, and its mind is very alien, which I think is why I got the bad feedback. I don't know what we can do yet, but it looks like we should be able to get more information and figure out a way to defend ourselves from it. Wolf, were you looking at that thing? Is that why you were looking at me so intently?
Ludo, is that thing still in the area, or is it? Did Gaius, by putting that spell around him, dispel it?
it's like the flow has been interrupted, but you know that the flow will resume. So the thing is, it's going to go as if nothing happened the moment he is no longer veiled.
Okay. So I think Ruffin is single-mindedness. I say it both opens for the first time and it says, "Release him, be gone." Possibly in an old tongue rather than the tongue that everyone else will understand, and it sort of ignores Gaius. And I'm delivering an ultimatum to the presence.
Do I need to let it back in my head for him to communicate with it again?
It will be easier. So basically, that will count as you helping. So
Go do that.
Oh yeah, I'm willing to do that. I know
do
Vic
that.
is not a fan, but
okay.
it's
So
coming back when I go to sleep anyway. I might as well let it back on our terms.
well, there's always never
So that-
going to sleep again.
Yeah, no, I don't like that arrangement. I want to
okay.
be able to get drunk and pass out.
So roll for it, and
So I'm using jamming for my cybernetics as well, plus assist. And I'm being all powerful about this because get out of
okay,
my mate's
like
head.
that too.
So how does assistance work in this game? Do you have to like do something similar to roll plus history or something? Or do you
What?
just say you're helping and you give them a bonus?
Help if the bonus would matter. You roll, and if you succeed, you give the benefit.
And is it a +1 if I'm helping, -2 if I'm interfering?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you want to roll for the help to begin with? Is that
No, it's better if it would matter.
all right?
If it's not going to matter, and
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the jamming. That's an 8.
okay,
So-
that's an 8. I mean, if you're going to interfere, it matters. Or are you going to help? Okay, so Jim.
So I'm jamming. It's sort of, I suppose the narratively what Wolf is doing is isolating its signal and jamming it, and then it just sort of says the words "release them." So that's 7 to 9. 10 plus, they may make you carry your threat or back down, give you what you want. And 7 to 9, they also have options. They can take from the list below, which I presume you would choose, Ludo, rather than me. Yeah, so I'm saying if it doesn't release them, I will disconnect its signal, and it will never rejoin the consciousness.
You will feel something tagging in your mind within your constructed body, and a single image, a vision of the god of messengers, and a single word: parlay.
Oh god, it's from Dungeon World.
At this point, the bits of metal from Wolf start flying off and circling Wolf, and it looks at it and says, I'm not sure what if it says anything. It just sort of looks and nods and waits for it to parlay.
Set the place in the shadow so I might come.
Do the others hear this or just me?
Just you.
I think Vic has a proposal. Oh no, he can't hear what's going on.
I guess is Wolf reacting to this? I guess it's hard to see.
Well, you can see his weapon systems are just
Mhm.
activated.
And you can see the powerful rising up. Because how many times you spiked it this session? 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that like spiked?
No, I don't think Wolf has gone on full powerful mode,
Okay.
right?
Say that again. I don't think I understand the mechanical question. Sorry.
Have you marked it powerful 5 times?
No, I've marked it 3 times.
Yeah, so still no full powerful mode.
Vic understands that there is this kind of, as he sees it, an alien power that is trying to speak, that is speaking to Wolf, and that is trying to take control of Gaius, right? Vic understands that much. He just can't hear the conversation right now.
I think that's fair to assess, yes.
Yeah. In that case, I think Vic has a proposal. He's going to propose that in order to protect his friend, he will allow the creature to speak through him, at least temporarily. I mean, I think he sees himself as this is the way to protect the friend who's already been hurt.
But we already have one person who's infected by it. Why infect the second? I think we should maybe get me healed up a little bit. And Lagaya could probably use a little help as well. And I got the impression, as powerful this thing is, that we can handle it. That's the feeling I have. Hopefully I'm not making Lagaya too nervous. Only spiked by 2 and powerful. But I'm ready to go up.
And what is Lagaya's take on this? Because Lagaya has been very quiet.
Yeah.
Keeping tabs on emotions.
Yeah. I think I feel some concern about Vic offering himself to be the conduit. I have this feeling like of all of us, he might be the least equipped or prepared emotionally, but that's just my feeling. I almost want to suggest that like maybe we should do this on our own turf instead of outside someone's house where we may have done a murder twice.
Well, sorry. So one thing is that Vic has a sanctuary in beyond the veil, but a safe place where, I mean, this is part of his playbook, right? The Honorbound's playbook, that there's a place where he can treat with the creatures that live beyond the veil, but in safety on his own terms. So that might be a place to go to have this conversation. And the second thing I think Vic was thinking, or at least I'm thinking, is that although he's poorly equipped to deal with it on his own, we have Gaius who can, it appears, conjure spells to block it when necessary. And we have Lagaya who can manage Vic's emotions while the experience happens. And we have Woof who can speak to this creature and do the parleying. And I think then, so Vic will offer himself basically as like a passive vessel to speak through without risking either of the two people who are better equipped to deal with it. But I'm not clear how much of this conversation we can realistically have character to character, since Vic doesn't really know what's going on.
Well, but we could meet with it in a magical construct within the veil.
Which is kind of what it asked. It asked for a meeting place in the shadow.
Which when it says the shadow, it's referring to the veil.
Namely to the pockets that you made within the veil.
Okay. Well, okay, but I'm just saying Vic has
But
one
I
of
can
those.
cast that spell in your sanctuary.
Yeah, double whammy.
Or I could just eviscerate them.
Well, we need to get to them.
Yeah, just don't accidentally eviscerate Gaius.
Oh, can I probe Woof's? Like,
Yes.
why
go for
are
it.
there things floating around him? Okay. Let's do this.
So how are you feeling about Wolf now?
Let's see. How am I feeling about Woof? Oh, I'm also like pretty high on powerful. Let's see. I think curious. Kind of like, what are these? Why is he feeling? Why does it seem like powerful and spiked, and like, why are there metal shards flying around him? Is what I'm feeling. So I think it's more like questioning. I don't know what that is though. Where is the wheel?
Questioning.
Inquisitive.
Curious.
Let her go powerful.
Oh, I found the wheel. Is that like anxious? I don't know if it's anxious.
Yeah, anxious or bewildered, which are both scared.
Okay, I will be
So we're
scared.
scared, I guess. I guess I'll be scared.
I guess I'll be concerned with a hint of curiosity. Oh, that's a big number. That's 12.
Okay, that's a lot of questions that you can ask.
Yeah. So
from
I'm
Vic, from Wolf.
from Woof. I have to look at my sheet of paper.
3 questions.
And I have a move that allows me to ask questions that are not the normal questions.
Oh, that's good.
So with ease, I can ask, what do you wish you could tell someone?
That this presence is attempting to take over, duplicate, do bad things to Gaius.
Okay. I don't know how I'd be able to tell that from looking at you or sensing your emotions.
I mean, you're looking into their mind. So.
Right. What do you? Oh, that's not the question. What do you wish I'd do? Get rid of the thing?
We should play Fall Out Boy on panpipes.
Oh.
No. I think I wish we need to, I wish you would let Gaius know the threat that he is Gaius is in a lot of trouble.
Doesn't Gaius already kind of know this, or I guess this is player versus character knowledge?
I think Guy is experienced firsthand that he's in trouble. Maybe maybe he does not know that how much he is, but yeah.
I'll re-answer it that Gaius should not drop his spell.
Okay. And then I guess if I asked you to, that's the third question, is if I asked you to stand down for the moment, how would you feel?
That you were a foolish flesh bag that didn't understand the danger, but it would likely do it.
Okay. All I care about is how you feel now. Yeah, I mean,
Wolf is, I think, is probably somewhere between concerned, scared, and determined.
because I feel like the last time we saw you with metal shards around, someone exploded in a bag of gore. So I think like Gaia will put herself sort of between Wolf and Gaius, which is what everyone seems to be doing. And like does the like hand gesture. And I don't know if Wolf is familiar enough with human gestures to respond to that, but like
What's the hand gesture, sorry?
like kind of like the calm down, or like a hand out maybe to, because it's sort of, I don't know, it might look like you're planning to attack Gaius right now.
I might be.
And she's just like, before you do anything, maybe we need to set up, we need to be somewhere safer than this.
I think Wolf sort of leans forward on one foot as if it's weighing something up in its mind. It steps back and all the shards stop circling and reattach itself to it. And it just, eyes stop glowing and it stops moving.
And I'm a foolish fleshback. And I mean, I think Guile will just look at Gaius and just be like, I guess I don't know how much of our conversation that we had before we actually had out loud. Probably not the part where Vic was offering to become the conjuror, or was that a thing that you said?
I think I said that, but not a lot else.
Did you also offer your sanctuary?
I don't know. I can do that now. I can say this is something we can do better in my sanctuary.
And I don't want to give the wrong impression. When I said that this thing is powerful, but we can defeat it, I really mean we. Like, if I was on my own, I would be in a lot more trouble. But with the three of you helping me, I think we have that, and then we can go see Purpose and find out what's going on with the iconoclasts. But is this thing connected to them? What the things that come after Purpose? Are they the things? You know, you destroyed one of them the last time we were together. Is this the same feeling as them? This didn't feel like that void to me. It felt different. not good, but different. Is that correct?
I think the actual, the precise words that I said it that it is just as alien, but reminds you more of purpose, powers, and wolf than of the iconoclast.
Okay. So I'm trying to think how his response to that is. It's sort of head moves slightly left to right. Sort of shakes. Sort of. In fact, his two big metal arms just sort of go. Hmm?
Oh man, I think Vic can even read that. Like, emotion.
Well, I guess the most important question now is to get first aid. So, where in how people do in the city when they need healthcare? Who do they go for?
I assume there's a doctor somewhere, or like
So there are
helpers,
doctors.
healers.
Hmm. Okay, so you go to one of these doctor places. So is it part of any sort of social club?
Social club?
Yeah, I mean like a guild, corporation.
Oh,
I would just point out that protecting people from harm and saving people's lives are both elements that incur obligation according to society's code, and they require a sacrifice of equivalent value. So if someone is going to help heal you, Vic will be in a position of having to enforce the sacrifice that you have to make in return.
Interesting. Vic, does your order have a lot of doctors? Or what is the relationship with doctors, since the two were so connected?
I imagine that the order is kind of freelance in that I have been assigned to Gaius because he's one of the people that arranges the contracts, and so he needs to have a member of the order assigned to him to enforce those contracts. I expect that the medical profession has the same deal. So it'll be, I expect some of my colleagues from my order who would be called on to enforce those obligations if need be. But it's not as complicated, right? Because with Gaius, it's about contracts for the future, intentions to behave in certain ways, and so on. Whereas with doctors, you turn up, you have to make the sacrifice of cred or whatever it is, and then you get the medical attention. So it's a bit less complex than Vic's assignment.
Okay, so are you going for a doctor that is sanctified by Vic's order, or are you going for one off the books?
Uh-oh.
Now we have Vic with us. I'm figuring, yeah, and I'm expecting to make a payment. Even if it was off the books, the guy would want to get paid anyway. So.
Okay, so is this doctor on a busy part of the city, on its agora or forum or any kind of other meeting place, or is it on one of the side streets? Gaius, since you probably know which one is closest.
The location we just came out of, is this in like a residential area? This was somebody's house, right?
Yeah, it's more on residential / rural area. So on the
So I
outskirts.
think, so we're like on the outskirts of the city. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, but you have
So
to go inside anyway.
there's
So,
like we have to go back in. Is the sanctuary inside the city?
yeah, because the sanctuary and your home and the entrance to the catacombs, they are all pretty much in the center of the city.
Yeah, let's not go to some country bumpkin out here. We'll go in. We'll be fine. We'll make it into the city and get it taken care of.
Okay. So, Wolf, you get the feeling of there are pacts in the tapestry of pretty much everything on this city. When you get to the front of this doctor's establishment, do you feel any safety measures of any sort bound to the veil?
Is this where we're going for the doctors? Is that the question? Sorry.
This is basically if the doctor has some kind of security that is backed up by the veil.
Oh, almost undoubtedly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would, if I was a doctor and lived in this town and I had creds, then definitely.
Next, Ligaya. As you probe the flow around you, do you detect thieves and urchins and ne'er-do-wells of any kind in the neighborhood?
Is this like a search feelings roll?
No, it's just
Okay. Yes.
So, Vic, you probably know the dynamics of the city, which group controls which neighborhood. Is there any kind of gang or a guild or any kind of organization that claims control of this space that is not legally backed as far as you are concerned?
Yeah, I think there's like a black market underground trade in obligations, which my order doesn't recognize. So if you find yourself that you have an obligation of some kind that you don't want to discharge, legally you have no option. You have to discharge it, or else the Vics of the world come after you. But there's a group that tries to do kind of deals and obligations where they get two people together who both have an obligation they don't want to discharge and try to exchange them. And the idea is that if nobody complains and everyone's happy, then Vic shouldn't need to get involved. And Vic distrusts this gang enormously. And yeah, this is the neighborhood where they're quite powerful.
So, guys, do you know this doctor, or you just know that they have this shop here and this is your first time coming here?
I think I know him by reputation. I have not been this badly injured since starting up my business here. So yeah, this is going to be my first time coming here. But I've heard that I've chosen somebody who's above board, that has a good reputation in the neighborhood of the sanctuary, so we can get this done.
Okay, so both Ligaya and Gaius, and I think those are the only ones that warm, right? So both of you roll +1 to see if you are able to get treatment here.
You got 7. Wait, +1?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is 7.
And with the +1, I'm at a 10.
Okay, so the doctor seems quite competent and recognizes that you are people of means and starts to treat with you, and you can see that they are brewing some strange infusions that are designed to heal the insides of the body without invasive treatments. But the thing that you notice is instead of the 5 credits that the bill you were expecting, it comes down to 6.
6 credits.
I have, is it that each person?
No, total.
Oh. I have 3 credits.
And I have, I believe, 2.
All right. Well, but let's keep our mouths shut about how many credits we have with us, because this is not part of the deal. I think at this point, Vic, who's just been like sitting quietly in the corner reading a magazine or whatever it is they have lying around, a Bronze Age magazine, looks up and says to the doctor, "This is not the agreed rate."
Well, there are other costs above the aid itself. There are also the functional costs that must be taken into account.
This is not how obligation works, even in this neighborhood. The costs are agreed in advance.
So you are aware of the neighborhood. So you should be aware of the conditions that one must operate within.
The conditions are the same all over the city. At this point, Vic stands up to try and look a little bit more intimidating, aware that he's not looking great at the moment anyway, and says, "I am an honor bound. I do not bow to the illegitimate demands of other would-be authorities. The agreed rate is 5, and we will pay 5.
Or I can just lend no service at all. There's a said additional expenses for operating here.
Has he done it yet?
Yeah, but it needs to be continuous work. Yeah, he's only applied the initial bruise.
Can we probe the doctor and see if he's telling the truth?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna try it. Oh, how am I feeling? A little mad for once.
Go for it.
What is that? Is that? Oh man, that's a -1. Why did I say that? That's a 9. Yeah, healthcare does make me mad. So with a 9, I can probe. I can hold 1. Is he telling the truth?
Yeah, he's telling the truth. There's a lot of pressure on this neighborhood from this gang that they're gonna take their share, and that is where the extra credit is going to go. In fact, he's actually selling it a bit of a loss because their take is probably going to be closer to 2 credits.
I mean, it's like looking at the doctor, just be like, why don't you just say that it costs this much on the outset instead of hiding this fee?
I mean, I told that I was taking that the minimum tickets from every client. I mean, yeah, he said that, but the thing is, you know that elsewhere it will not cost as much.
Okay, here's what's going to happen. You will finish the treatment. We will pay the agreed rate. And our understanding is that having received the treatment, we will then go and have a conversation with the people who are taking this money from you, because that is also illegitimate.
Okay, so you're going to take an obligation then. Is
that
what you are doing?
Absolutely.
So what is the name of...
Sorry.
So what is the name of this gang that is enforcing this law, and what are you declaring you're going to do to them?
Anybody for the name? I have no immediate inspiration.
chained, the chained ram.
You say chain.
Oh, I was like the chained ram or something. I don't know.
Ah, cool. Hang on. Like that. Yeah, they officially call themselves the Chained Ram. Everyone else calls them the Rammies, and they hate it. They absolutely fucking hate it.
Yeah, so your obligation is going to be what?
That we will end this extortion racket that where honest doctors are being forced to apply extra penalties to their customers, and we're going to end it. We're going to find them, and we're going to
so end the extortion of the Black Rams. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we're gonna take 10 minutes break, and then we're gonna deal with something worse than the Black Rams. Okay, see you in 10. All right. So we meet again at the sanctuary of Vic's order. Now, everyone but Vic take turns saying something that their character notices about the sanctuary that tells them that this is a sterile place obsessed with obligations, honor, agreements, and tradition.
I know you said except Vic, but can I just contribute that my playbook actually has some elements too.
I forgot that people might not be aware. We did not go over that in 3 sessions. So just so that they get in the state of mind, just say what you picked already.
Yeah, so this is an area of the of Beyond the Veil, which has the following features. It has faith and ritual. It has trippy imagery. It has some non-physical life. Non-physical life, that's kind of cool. And it has sanctuary and safety. So knock yourselves out.
There's always, I suppose, as if there's a music being played in the background, a song or a heartbeat to this place. May or may not be on panpipes.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were going there.
But it's definitely sort of like a just. I think it's more. I'm not going to ring the panpipe thing because that's too gonzo. It is, but there is like a chime and a let's say just a presence and a music about being here.
Maybe I'll just add to the music. Like maybe there's a metronome of something, like keeping a very steady rhythm. Can that be my contribution, or do I have to have something else?
I love that. The idea of music and then also like a steady ticking sound to keep people in touch with reality.
I think the non-physical life. These are spirits of law and obligation that create is actually information rituals and observances you have to do at the next interval based on strikes, which keep them centered in this place.
I like it.
So, Vic, now you get the biggest point, the most important point. What is Vic's favorite place within the sanctuary?
The trippy music and the metronomes are as you wander from area to area in this kind of surreal sanctuary. Sometimes the music is louder, sometimes the metronomes are louder, but you can always hear both. And a few years ago, Vic discovered an area where the music can hardly be heard and the metronome can be heard really clearly. So it's almost entirely this regular clicking sound and almost none of the weird trippy music. And he has kept that place quiet. He never takes anybody else there. And it's kind of hard to find, but that's his favorite place because that's where he's reminded like just the order and regularity of the world and none of this weird stuff.
Speaking of weird stuff, someone is on the task of creating the shadow realm for the encounter to happen. So how is guys going around to that?
So Gaius actually is going to speak to Wolf about this because Wolf to be the individual who is personally confronting this entity on my behalf. And from what surroundings you motivating and dominant to this entity? Like, what's going to make you bigger, more powerful, the one in charge?
There may be attack turrets, or the other option is it would look like the throne room of the gods. But that might be a little sacrilegious.
So your two options are throne room of the gods or attack turrets.
No, Ludo's option was attack turrets. I think I'm going to go for the reflecting pool that Wolf remembers looking into when they were in the Temple of the Gods. In the reflecting pool, the true purpose, true faces of everyone can be seen in the reflection. Plus, it's deep enough to hide turrets.
So underwater turrets. Okay, Gaius, roll for construct. So you roll plus cyberbrain. So unless you got advances, it's still +1.
Wow,
Can I help,
stepped in
by
at
the
this
way,
week.
if needed?
With the +1.
So
It will
yeah, so
you. Oh, I get an extra one.
you get to an extra one because of your pick. So get 3 to pick.
So it has to hold more than 2 minds. It will be pure. And it will be highly detailed and expansive, but without will not persist. So it needs, and the highly that in some way is also, assisting Wolf. in confrontation.
Okay. So you feel movement in the pool, and it starts to ripple, and the sound of the ripple starts to grow into intensity, and then you realize that it's a very slow voice, and as it seems to adjust itself, suddenly it's something that you can actually understand. I am. I am. I am. I am many. For my purpose is to preserve. They gave me a name that is not mine. They call me the Curator.
So I think Wolf will point to Gaius and say in the old tongue, "You may not have this one."
They are marked.
Why Gaius? Why do
They
you pick who you pick?
I did not pick them.
Who did?
They did.
Who are they?
Gaius Agrippa, as you know them.
Wait, Gaius picked
I-
himself?
I looked at the scroll. In
Oh.
the mind of the dead.
This is my purpose. This is who I am, the Curator. There's always those that seek knowledge, and there are those that seek to leave what they learn to others. That's what makes one decide me.
What did you want with Luke? The guy will ask and like kind of glance at Vic. Like, are you wondering this too?
Luke was of my priests. Luke was a steward of knowledge, a preserver of secrets that could not be held within me. They became one with me. They came with me as all that came before. All of my priests are within me, and their teachings are all within the book.
Is it possible for Vic to speak to his friend without the curator hearing?
Question, Gaius, is it?
Ha.
I chose that it's secure.
Yes, but do you want to make something on the part of the reality, which they can talk with each other without the reflecting pool? Because this is your world.
But that's what I think I'm justifying my decision by saying since I chose it secure, then I should be able to have control over the security and get us a way to stay in contact.
Yeah, makes sense that you will do that.
So how I want to be able to speak to these? I want to speak to you guys without being overheard. How does that work? What do I do?
I think it's like a telepathic way.
Okay.
Rather than the flow.
Okay.
And so say what you were going to say.
Right, telepathy's right up Vic Street. I was going to say it speaks. Maria says in the chat, the movie, this is a lot of silent scenes and us staring intently at each other. Yeah, this isn't good TV. It speaks of Luke as one of its priests, as a fellow seeker of knowledge.
This must be connected. Its purpose might be purpose.
That's what I was about to worry about.
And is this the enemy of the iconoclasts?
Is purpose one of its priests?
Yes.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the concern. Because it didn't turn out too well for Luke. I'm not sure we really want purpose to be killed, resurrected, given metal arms, and then die again. Just saying.
I'm going to look into the reflecting pool and see the true image of Gaius Agrippa at this present moment in time. I'm wondering what that looks like. If I need to pull a move for that. In fact, I'm going to use the Abyss Stairs back again.
On Agrippa or on the Curator?
On Agrippa at this point, because Agrippa's got himself into this mess. So I think I'm doing this.
How are you feeling about Agrippa?
I'm feeling sad because I feel that if Agrippa has made bad choices, then there may be issues. So that's an 8, all in all. I'm going to spend my 1 humanity to take advantage. Yeah, actually, divulge a belief or truth about yourself or your target in order to inflict. No, I'll take the advantage. So, what does the reflection look like of Gaius and his connection? Because if Gaius entered this contract willingly, then that's on Gaius.
So you're going to inflict humanity harm on Gaius?
No, I'm going to take the advantage. I'm going to take the advantage forward from it. So I roll 3d6 for my advantage, and then I think I'll go for. I want to figure out what's happening with the deal that, willingly or unwillingly, that I'll direct this. I'm going to direct this back at the presence at this point. So I just need to clear some dice. No, I don't want to clear all dice. Just select it. Please select it. So I'm throwing with advantage. 3d6. So I'll take the 5 and the 4 forward. Now I've looked at the. I think Wolf is trying to. It thinks it's more powerful and important than the this curated source. So I'm going to take. I feel powerful.
Then you also get +1 on going from analyze.
Yeah.
Its weakness is that it was made to serve.
In fact, I won't be powerful. I'll actually, yeah, well, let's see what happens when I spike out, because that's going to be fun. So that will be 9. That will be 9, 11, 12. 12.
Which was the move again?
I'm probing.
Okay.
So what I think I want to find out is what is it intending to do with all these cloned peeps that it's creating?
You actually get the meaning that the clone was not its intention. It was a response to the iconoclast.
Okay.
Yeah, that its actual purpose, that he actually dislikes making these clones because there is a risk of corrupting the information within. Its just goal is, after people die, store it within them.
How can I get it to release Gaius from the mistake that Gaius made?
Oh, that's the thing. When you approach the intelligence on this topic, it seems confused. I have no contract. I have no bound. That is not the way of our parents. That is the way of the Titans, to make forged pacts and laws, to make the sheep their own shepherds. That is not our way. I made no contract with Gaius Agrippa. I looked into his past and I looked into his future. He is coming willingly. If he does not want to do, all he has to do is stop chasing mysteries and knowledge. But I know that that will not be the case. I look forward, and that version of Gaius Agrippa belongs to me. If there is another version of Gaius Agrippa that takes another path, that version is free.
If I stay with
my third
you,
question is:
do I get to see the book?
Yeah?
Stay
Sorry?
with you, do I get to look in the book?
That's up to the high priest to decide, not me.
The third question, I suppose I've got then is what do you wish I'd do?
I wish you all stopped playing and took your place and did your duty just as I do mine. You are always the most disappointing of our siblings.
Cold, sick bird. So, Wolf goes silent and considers the next act and whether it should be violent.
I think in the meantime, Vic, who also tends to lean towards violence, as we know, is seeing. He doesn't really care very much about. Oh, excuse me. Hello. He doesn't really care very much about all this nonsense. Hang on, someone else talk for a minute.
Did we all? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, as you might have seen from what I previously said, Um, I can talk to Purpose and join a priesthood village, but I need a way. Um, I need a way of not being duplicated in a flawed manner. It needs to be in a perfect manner, and I believe I'll learn that through the book and my beliefs, but not the one about chasing knowledge. The one about a deal's a deal. Make it that not only do I need to find the truth, but I need the new second to last of Purpose's cult.
And you're throwing away your belief that a deal is a deal.
I don't think I want to be creating contracts with iconoclasts anymore. I don't trust them. I find it less offensive than the iconoclasts.
I
want to turn to the
agree,
gods,
but
not the demons.
I agree. But my order is the guarantee of trust. I exist so that deals can be made with people who don't trust each other. The correct response to not trusting somebody is not to throw away the idea of obligation. That's what underpins our whole society. Gaius, what is so appealing about knowledge that makes you willing to throw away everything that defines us in pursuit of it? That's what I don't understand.
It represents freedom from chains in our past, the more we can see into our future. And the the the, the thing that separates us from the and knowledge. And I think the more we are in control of our own being controlled by these iconoclasts who think of us as the sheep and want to keep us chained in bonds of obligation, bonds of the iconoclasts.
Wow. I think Vic at this point, like as his entire world falls out from underneath him, just turns to Ligaya with expression on his face of like, tell him, this is crazy.
And I think Ligaya is torn because on the one hand, I think she sees that like the obligations that Vic is forced to enforce have have the potential to cause so much harm on the people who are taking them. So on the one hand, she sees what Gaius means by freedom and not having to make deals all the time. But on the other hand, she also does not like the idea of like of living in a world without trust. So she probably just like looks back and forth between Gaius and Vic, and like, oh, what does she do? I don't know what she does. I think she's just I don't know. Huh.
Just out of character momentarily, I'd just like to read out the first of Vic's fundamental beliefs. I do not have freedom to choose which rules to enforce and which to neglect. I am bound by duty. There's absolutely no way Vic is going to let this.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to break obligation. I don't see myself continue in the job of performing rituals for other people to meet these obligations. I don't want to be in that racket anymore.
But your job is an obligation. In entering it, you formed a duty with society, right? This is what you do. It's like an oath that you take. It's not like just becoming an accountant or a street cleaner or whatever the bondage equivalent of those two things are. This is a sacred obligation which you enforce for the good of society. It's not open to you to neglect it or reject it or just change your job.
But
when a mutual agreement is broken, we require restorative justice.
That's so horrid. Wolf destroyed it. Magaya, I've never seen so shaken by anything. And I never felt anything so wrong as that I kind of pressed.
I don't want to. This is a cool scene, but I just want to say that I think Vic is reasonably close to breaking point, and actually, on reflection, the conclusion he's going to come to in his fairly simple-minded way is that this curator creature is influencing his friends in a not acceptable way. So much as I was thinking he was about to just pull out his knife and stab Gaius, I don't think that's going to happen.
Are you going to issue an ultimatum before you do that?
But I'm not going to do it. If there's an ultimatum, it's going to be to the curator. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I will do. But I think I'm going to ask Wolf to deliver it for me because I don't trust myself. Tell it to release its hold on my friends and on the world that I've sworn to protect. And if it refuses, I will dedicate the rest of my life to destroying it as I destroyed Luke. And if necessary, I will start with these people here. Tell it that.
Wolf doesn't so much as turn as his body sort of switches around and is looking at you and said, it speaks in a common tongue. It's haltingly. The choice is Gaius's, not yours.
There is no choice. That is the point of duty and obligation. The choice has already been made. It is past. There is no choice.
I'm guessing the strongest emotion that is around here is probably Vic. I just feel like if Ligaya does anything to calm Vic, try to calm Vic down, that's like picking a side. And I don't know if she wants to pick a side unless she manages to do something to Vic without Vic knowing that she's doing
Yeah,
it.
it would be definitely don't fail that roll.
Yeah. I think she's gonna do it.
Yeah.
And she's probably gonna fail that roll.
Yeah.
And she's feeling scared.
Okay, so what is it? Is it an absorb?
I think it's gonna be an absorb.
Okay.
And then that will potentially lead to hooked on a feeling, depending on how it goes. And she's scared, so that's +1. Ooh, 7 +1 is 8.
So which emotion are you observing?
Actually, yeah. What are Vic's emotions? Guys.
Vic actually hasn't made a move all session, so I'm pretty centered according to this.
Oh, okay. Let's see. When you intentionally draw on the emotions around you, name someone present. If it's a PC, absorb an emotion. Choose an emotion, absorb all their spikes. Oh, I'll take your feeling of powerful. And you won't know that I'm doing this.
Which, what did you roll with what?
I used scared.
What did you get?
I got 7 +1 is 8.
Okay, so you get to pick 2.
Yeah, so I will clear his, or I'll absorb his powerful, which will make me feel powerful. And then I will make it so that he doesn't know I'm doing this. But then I think hooked on a feeling, which is when you suppress or manipulate an emotion in yourself or someone else that you can see, remove 1 emotion spike from your target and mark 2 spikes in a new one.
Don't you also get a second choice? So
Oh.
you chose that I wasn't aware, but you have a second choice.
I guess I will choose I don't spike on that emotion myself, so I don't actually feel more powerful.
And then you give 2 spikes on them on another emotion. So
I'm going to give him 2 spikes to...
Peaceful?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Peaceful.
Oh.
I don't know. Because I think what the guy is feeling is that Vic's very emotional right now because this is like pushing on his like what he believes to be true, and she knows that he believes this is like to be true, but that she thinks that this emotion, like one of her beliefs is that emotions drive people to do things, and she feels like this emotion is leading him to potentially do terrible things, like he said, like in the ultimatum.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that does to him.
I do. I think Vic just crumples. You can see all the kind of, he was standing in his kind of powerful, tense position with his hand ready to reach for his knives, and he just crumples. And I think he just sits down on the floor of this weird sanctuary area. And in his mind, he just tries to tune in with the metronome that he can still faintly hear. Yeah, and that's Vic done. Go ahead and destroy society, you guys.
So I think that Wolf will look and rotate to Gaius at this point and says, "The choice is yours."
I looked at it, but I learned nothing. I learned very little from it. It was too much for me. I'm hoping that her interpret my visions.
Can you get the knowledge from the book without completely changing the way that society works?
I don't see why it has to, I guess, affect society, but if our society um, being controlled by the iconoclasts, I want to stride against them. And I've seen out
The knowledge
those who-
within the book, the knowledge that is within the book, will always bring change. That is beyond any of our control.
I think like Gaia just like looks between like Vic on the floor and Gaius goes like, is there no way for knowledge and trust to coexist?
I don't see why it's trust that's in jail. It's bondage.
Or I guess
Wolf is going to reach into the veil and again try and seek from the vast accumulated knowledge of the veil what it should do next. Once again, it's feeling sad. And 6. Nope. I fail. He has no sage words of wisdom and is just purposefully staring directly at Gaius.
So, do you want to ask anything about the custodians? Do you want to remain on this zone?
I think though I couldn't look into the abyss, I'll just try and lift the veil. I think I'm going to ask some questions of the actually I want to find out I think Wolf wants to find out if the rules of the construct to the iconoclast, this is slightly world shifting, and that feels like that means Vic's evil and a wrong one. But what is world? Yeah, I think I'm trying to figure out what what's the metaphysical impact? I need Gaius to make a choice. I'm trying to do this peacefully so I don't end up having to murder people, but that will
Well,
Is there
what you
so that'll be
to not be a flawed copy? My memories to be stored by the curator.
do you ask that from the curator?
Yeah,
The curator seems embarrassed as much as this incorporated voice can be, and says, technically, yes. Unfortunately, that is not the case. If any point in your life you have been veiled, that part of you, those moments, they have been denied to myself. Unfortunately, since that already happened and will happen again, those parts will always be missing. There's always be something that makes Gaius Agrippa that was not preserved.
so.
what about these physications that come back into the world? These undead with metal parts. Can I just change so that what you can goes, I don't know, book, not the dead thing?
That is up to you, as everything else. What you observed with Luke has happened in the past. Some of the priests that have an intimate connection and a sense of preservation and to fight the beings they call iconoclasts, that remains as part of their personality even when they are imprinted on me. And when they are spurred by the desire to fight them off, they come back. I cannot control that path more than you can control the flow of the blood inside your body. That is a reaction. I figure that if you are someone that in life will not fight back against the iconoclasts, there is no chance that you would be deployed in such a matter, because that will not be who you are, even after your death.
It sounds like I need to speak to purpose.
The purveyor of the order is entirely in the hands of the last priest. Indeed, the fate of the order is up to them. However, my gaze was turned to you because both you and all of those whose personalities I kept find you worthy.
I just said this in chat, but I think after Purpose's run-in with the Iconoclast 2 sessions ago, let's just say that Vic agreed to keep her safe in his sanctuary since then, and so she's around now and she can kind of emerge whenever she likes.
Yeah, to be honest, I have not even brought her an NPC before, exactly because you choose this to be a safe place out of intrusions. Otherwise, they would have used it through name to mess with you. So the moment you drop out of the shadow, Purpose can just through name contact all of you.
Wolf said he needed me to make a decision. Did I answer, or is there something else you are asking of me?
I think I successfully rolled 10 on a what's the name? Lift the Veil. Ludo, to figure out what does Wolf remember of his purpose. I suppose around this. I think Wolf's trying to figure out if it is Vic or Gaius that is the threat here, and he's trying to lift back in and understand that.
I think the best way to do that is to throw a bird question back and forth.
So which does, I suppose I'm trying to this, if this presence, if the curator is closer to what Wolf is than the iconoclasts, then it's probably more in keeping with Wolf's and the unknown perspective of how the world works. So is it, if I'm understanding correctly, the contracts, the rules, those deals, those are all parts of the iconoclasts, and we need no contracts and no deals in the world of the old gods, because we automatically would trust each other.
Exactly. You get that vibe. Also, because you got the 10 on that vibe, and so you get the feeling that you created the iconoclasts.
We created the iconoclasts.
No, you created the iconoclasts.
Oh.
Yes. That's why they defer to you.
Why?
But you also get the idea that you have been inactive for way too long after your creation of them. And now you get to ask me a bird question.
In fact, because of my computer brain, I get to ask you 2 birth questions.
Good.
If I can find the birth questions, right? Where are they? What is my purpose?
You get the feeling that, like the other demigods, which of one of them was the curator, you also had no name before you had Hoof. And if the curator was to help humanity to archive the memories of their lives and to assure that knowledge was not lost between generations, they were subservient to you. And your purpose was as another steward of mankind. And you don't know the details exactly, as in, I don't want to answer that for you, that part of the question, but you know that you were related with some sort of building, forging, some kind of, that was your function. That, like, if the curator was the person, the scribe taking the notes, you will be the person reading them and acting on them. That is the feeling that you get. That your purpose was to keep building something, keep making something. So you are some kind of demigod of creation.
Do I have memories or any knowledge of another time I was activated?
Yes.
Specifically probably related to a decision like this.
You remember standing on a great city that is very familiar to the city you are now, where you stood as humans bickering, flanked by armored figures of light and shadow, as they seem to be arguing about how they will regulate their society. And you remember a few of them staying in the city, while the vast majority departed to the world beyond.
Okay. Yes, it looks back towards Gaius and says, "The custodian remembers. I challenge. We build. Choose. What will this world be?" That was directed to Gaius.
I would choose knowledge and trust.
Vic?
Vic has been slumped on the ground for a while, and with his eyes half closed, listening to the metronome. And I think everyone almost forgot that he was there until he takes a knife and reaches up and tries to stab Gaius when he gives that answer.
Egads, what is wrong with all of you people? Watching quietly, this is terrible.
Hypo! Welcome!
Hello. I've been here a long time, very quietly.
Question. Because of the choices that Gaius made, when this attack happens, immediately does the Shadow Realm collapses? Or it depends of the outcome?
Who are you asking?
This is a question for
Gaius.
Gaius.
Yeah, because Gaius is the one.
I believe that I have an ability where I can just boot him from the VR.
Yeah, actually, yeah, roll for that. Roll to reconfigure. So we're gonna roll +1.
Yeah, speaking out of character, that's a really good thing to do.
And a 10. I'm liking the dice tonight already.
Okay, so the change is not noticed, the subconscious stays repressed, and you do not suffer feedback. So Vic just vanishes as if he was never there.
And nobody
Weapon
notices. Everyone's like,
and
wasn't
goes
there
to
something
stab
there?
me, and I just wave my hand and he's gone. Not in my house.
The thing is, Purpose, that has been so far trying to get in contact with anyone, finally is able to contact with Vic, because Vic is no longer on a sealed space. So Purpose can true name Vic.
Indeed. What in heaven's name is going on?
Gaius is threatening to destroy the world.
What? Where's Wolf?
Hell of a spin.
Where's Wolf? Where's Ligaya? What are you all doing?
They're in they're striking a deal with a demon. And
What?
the demon is trying to undermine the society, and Gaius is choosing knowledge and chaos over duty and obligation.
That doesn't actually sound that bad. And yet, destruction of the world and a demon do sound that bad. So, I'm not really sure where you're leading me with this, but I did, I think, manage to open the book. Perhaps it could give us some insights. Although,
Yeah,
it's a bit
do
hard
that.
to interpret. All right.
Vic is
Remember
going to
you
wait
have-
until a later conversation to mention also that he killed the last other member of your order. We'll do that another time.
Also, remember that you have true name on the curator. You have 3 components
Yes.
on the curator.
So that's what I got the love letter stuff from Toby out of the game, which was different from the book choices on my sheet. Am I doing both of those things?
You are, because
So
one
that's
of
very
the
handy.
choices of the love letter was that you would get the choice on the book, which you got.
Right. Only some of the choices in the love letter aren't on my choices in the book, which is why I was wondering if I got both. But whatever you're wanting to give me, I will definitely take. This situation seems suitably dire that as many options as I can take, I will take. All right, so I have 3 components on the curator, and I know where he is.
Yeah, you know it is in the shadow pocket near to the catacombs.
And I have 3 components on him, so I could cast my component-y thing. Sorry, I forget the names, and I'm scrolling on my phone because this
True
is a
name.
bit last minute. True name. I also, for the Cyberdome, I have the options. It has the information I need to find and open the vaults of the Order with the last remaining amounts of knowledge. It holds the secret of the iconoclasts and could destroy them as the remains of something ancient or the clues the Order were putting together to a much higher threat far greater than the iconoclasts. Yes? One of those?
Yeah, those are the choices for what could have been in the book.
All right. I think we should start with this curator nonsense, though. I'm going to true name this fellow. Seems to be causing all kinds of mischief. And by mischief, I mean possible destruction of the universe. So let's see. For true name, why don't you scroll when I hit you with the scrolly finger? For true name, can you tell me what to do since my thing will not scroll for the life of me?
So you roll 1d10, 2d6 plus components.
2d6 plus components. All right. Roll for your party. Sorry, can you put the link in again? I had it open and I apparently closed it. And I have 3 components, correct? Yes?
Yeah, you have the max amount, 3.
All right. Time to figure out what on earth is going on here.
Maybe you just have some
Go.
physical dice, Pearl, because whenever you switch, your camera also goes off.
Oh, really? That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, I just submitted 2, so I'm just gonna. They came to an 8 plus components would make it an 11.
So yeah, so you have.
You can probably
can
see they're the
spend
blue
hold.
ones.
So you can spend hold. 3 hold.
To ask. All right. So, if they're willing, I may spend my hold 1 for 1 without issue.
Yeah.
Is he willing?
No, because willing is to inflict harm. So if they
I
were
don't even
willing,
want to inflict harm.
so they are unwilling, so
I
you
just
cannot
want-
damage them.
That's okay. I was not looking to damage them anyway. I will do something else. Like ask them a question. Only I still can't scroll. So I'm going out of my mind a little bit. But
Actually, one of the options is communicate with them without regards for distance or barriers.
thank you. That was the sort of thing I was looking for. I would like to communicate with this person without any barriers.
So you connect with the custodian. Yes, High Priestess.
The situation here seems to be different from what I was anticipating. I'm not with most of the people I had come to trust, but I am under the impression that the coming moments may decide very important things for the world. What insights do you have?
I'm afraid the decision has already been made. It's just taking its course. You have opened the book, I feel, so you know what it contains.
Ludo. All right. Fine. I'm going to say then that it contains the information I need to find and open the vaults of the Order with the last remaining amounts of knowledge hidden in its recesses. If I get to decide what it contains. So
That's the thing. You are talking with the vault.
Right.
That's what
It
you are
is the
talking.
vault.
With the what?
The
Sorry.
Curator is the vault.
Right.
This
Well, he
is-
should tell me
this is
less
your-
cryptically what he's talking about then.
God, I think
Right. I am trying to.
You're not the last one.
I have opened the book, but I'm not in the sanctuary. So, and there is little time. Perhaps you could speak plainly until I have time, hopefully, to decipher the riddles therein in more
Well,
detail.
you know what happened to all the knowledge. It's preserved within. The knowledge of every single member of your order is part of me.
Indeed. And I'm grateful for that.
So
How
it
can
is
I-
all yours to commune. All the knowledge within is yours.
Can you imbue me with all of that knowledge now?
It will kill you.
It will kill me. Well, that's unpleasant. Is there some amount of knowledge you could imbue me with that would not kill me, but would enable me to understand more about the present situation?
That is the purpose of the Tome. It serves as an interface between my databases of all the lives lived by members of the orders since the beginning of humanity.
You are the most confusing sort of deity ever.
I am no god. I am made to serve.
And yet you're very bad at doing it. All right, that's fine. Thank you for your not any new information.
I have all new information. All you have to do is ask.
What should I do right now?
Your fate is unknown to me. You will never join these databases. This I can tell you. Which means that you must, no matter what, you must protect the knowledge that is stored here. You must be sure that if you fall, if you do not rejoin us, that someone else takes the order. But I can tell you.
But they killed the other. They killed the other one. All right, so it can't be me. Somebody else needs the book.
Not now, but someday, because I can tell you, purpose. Your purpose lies elsewhere. You will not be joining me.
Where does my purpose lie?
With the book. You must save the book because the book is the key to me.
Must resist urge to beat up Curator. We're talking in circles. All right. in the present moment, right now, like within the next 90 seconds, where should I go?
Look for the candidate. He is in danger.
Who is it?
Gaius Agrippa, that's how you know him. He has received the
Gaius.
lessons from your predecessor. Look.
Thank you. All right. I have, I think, more holds, and I'm going to save them for the time being. Vic. You're here with me, right?
Yep.
We have to get back to Gaius immediately.
I kind of just tried to kill him.
Well, that was bad. I'm going to ask you not to do it again. There's no time to explain, but the fate of the order depends on it, and I'm probably going to die. Please don't react to that. There's no time.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's alarming to me too, but these things happen when you're the last remaining member of an order and your friends kill off the other one, which somehow I figured that out, so, we'll have words later. I'm going to try to use the name thing on Gaius. I have a component.
You have been trying to do that all this time along. While they remain inside, you
have?
cannot. Yeah.
The thing is, they're in my headquarters, which is safe and secure from the outside. So you need to get him out of there.
I need to get Gaius out of there?
Anybody
need
that
to
you
get
want to
myself
communicate with.
Well, let's get to see what is happening on the Shadow Realm. So that just happened. Vic just attacked Gaius, and Gaius yeeted them away.
Wolf's, I think Wolf's bronze metal. It takes the tarnish on it is it is spinning. All of its bits are spinning. It looks sharp and alive, and the tarnish is moving away. And it looks at Gaius and says, "You have chosen mankind's destiny in this cycle. It will one of trust and knowledge, and not words and bounds." The custodian remembers, "I am the wayfinder. I drive humanity forward." And it looks at Gaius and says, "Send me to Vic."
You help me get to purpose?
Yes.
Well, and this curator, you're no longer needed. Is that correct? You need nothing else from me?
I will have...
When I end this simulation, we'll appear right where we were when we left, right in front of Vic, unless he's left the room.
I understand.
My robes, because I think we're about to get attacked. Magaya, you ready to go?
Send.
Yeah, and I feel like, if Vic's going to attack Gaius, the guy's going to try and step in between that. So I don't know how fast reaction times are, but it'll be interesting.
Purpose is prepared.
So you just spirit yourselves back into the sanctuary of Vic's order. So you are dropped right into hostile territory. What is the first reaction of anyone? And now, Purpose, you can actually contact any of them now because they are out of the Shadow Realm.
Can I contact all of them at once?
Yes.
This message.
Yes.
I'm going to blast out some true name goodness of everyone stop immediately.
Go ahead.
Do I need to?
No, you have established communication already.
Do I need to know if everyone stops?
Where
are
this?
What does this true name do? Sorry, is this forcing us, or are you just sending a message?
No. Just allows me to mentally communicate.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like through telepathy, I believe.
I think when you guys drop out of the illusion into the real sanctuary, Vic, I suppose, is still on the ground, kind of half sitting, half kneeling in front of Purpose, and they've just finished the conversation that they had a moment ago. And the knife is still in Vic's hand, although he's very clearly not threatening Purpose with it.
The Wayfinder walks towards Vic and says, "You have done your duty, but your time has passed," and strikes him with all of his explosive force.
That's not. The guy is gonna get in the way, not very smartly.
And I know this is just happening simultaneously. Purpose gave her message. Yes, Kriusthos, and put his wand away and took a couple of steps back away from me. I thought I was getting attacked, but that's not happening.
So what is Purpose message as over a barrage of explosives?
I think at Wolf just like, what part of freeze didn't you understand, you fool? And
Okay, so Wolf is going to be rolling everything that he can on
Wolf just rolled boxcars and powerful at a 14.
Yeah, and the others, all the others 4 get to try to hinder that. So go ahead and everyone can roll to hinder the 4 of you, and let's see if you can lower a boxcar.
Vic is not trying to hinder. Honestly, Vic is at the point now. Sorry.
I'd like to point out I've got responsive cybernetic lens, so he's moving very fast.
Yeah.
Just sort of across the room and into.
To stop and do. So Gaius is doing nothing.
So the guy is the only one hindering.
Is it hindering, or am I like risking myself by like getting in the way? Like,
Yeah.
So should I roll risk instead of hinder, maybe?
Yeah, true. Roll risk then.
Because I don't know if I'm actually trying to stop him attacking. I just react to be like, I know this is not what I want, and she's feeling scared. What else does Ligaya ever feel?
Oh, Ligaya.
Oh, that's a 4.
Okay. So we just see Wolf charging and then loading explosives, and Ligaya just out of nowhere appears in front. As we hear Purpose words admonishing them, as we look outside of the sanctuary and we just see it explode. And we end here. And we hope to get renewed for season 2. Okay.
Oh, Ligaya is so lovely. I really wanted Vic to die in her place.
She wanted to like have a chat with Vic about how like personal beliefs don't change the world. But no.
At the moment Wolf came for Vic, he basically agreed. Like he was thinking in the same direction, that his job is done. The world is obviously moving beyond him, and what more can he do? Right? He's the old order, and he's seen all his friends. Nah. Vic was big. If nothing else had happened, Vic was going to retreat into a sanctuary and never be seen again. He was going to do the psychic governance.
Well,
sure.
At least half of that part is right.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry,
okay, so
I have I guess disagreement with the. I'm sorry, just that Wolf rolled to and got a really good roll to achieve that objective, and Ligaya rolled to prevent him from having that, to achieving that objective, and very miserably failed. So I don't see how she stops Wolf from taking out
Oh,
Vic.
Or maybe we don't know.
oh, she did not stop. That's the point. We don't
No.
know because the camera cuts away before we know. But if we had 1 hour more to continue, I would say that yes, Vic takes the damage. Ligaya got collaterally suffer a lot, and
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. Yeah, if we had 1 more hour of play, that would be exactly what happens. Now it's going to be a mystery for season 2. Now let's go to beliefs. So let's start with the architect. I guess a lot of beliefs got cancelled this session.
Who do you want?
I don't believe that I deserve to unwind any, so I'm gonna need a new. I need a new. A deal is gone, so I'm gonna need a new belief there.
Yeah, but you get 3 XP from
But I am
because
strong on knowledge, right?
yeah, but that got into trouble. So I'll say you get 5 XP from beliefs.
Beliefs, okay. And then what else?
Even if you need to. Huh? Sorry?
What other questions do I need to look at this stage? Do we, other than beliefs, do I just
Only
write the
beliefs. Yeah, just get 5 XP. Just say that you get 5 XP.
So I'm good on the next person.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
next is the empath. So
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think people are ruled by the emotions. I touched on that this time. I feel like not only was Vic ruled by emotions, the guy was definitely ruled by her emotion in that last one. So I forgot what the point was. Is it 1 or 2?
If it was a part but did not get into a problem, it's 1. So I guess it's 1.
Okay. I should help people navigate their emotions. I mean, I did like manipulate Vic's emotions slightly.
Yeah, and you got Vic into trouble.
Yeah, I did. So that 1 also, I think.
I don't say 2.
And then if the cost of friendship is feeling fear for others, I will be afraid. I was afraid a lot.
Yeah, I guess that's another 2.
Yeah, so that would be 5. But
Yeah.
we're not doing anything with these, right? We're just looking at how we dealt with them. Because this is session 4.
Yeah. Next, we have our honor bound. So, how is Vic and their beliefs?
Well, in as much as he had any beliefs, given that he's dead. But I think in the moment when he was incinerated, I do not have freedom to choose which rules to enforce and which to neglect. I am bound by duty. No, gone. Nope. He's a
Seems legit.
yeah, definitely not. I do not work in the shadows. Justice must be seen to be done. That is kind of premised on this idea that society depends on this stuff, which I think he no longer believes.
Yeah.
That'd be completely undermined, so that's gone. Friendship can be a source of strength for me and others. Gee, thanks, Wolf.
Okay, I guess you
I'm
get.
biased.
Yeah, I guess you get 8 XP, not the.
Oh, great, right, yeah. That'll be useful for me in the next life.
Yeah. So next, the onomastic.
Well, it's interesting since I was watching almost the whole game from backstage. But I would say that my number 3 is no longer going to be applicable. If survival is paramount, as if I die, the order dies with me, because clearly it doesn't. Because I'm going to die, and it's not going to die because I have to give Gaius the book. The other 2, I guess 1, because I am acquiescing to the idea that I'm going to die and have to pass on the book, I would say I'm engaging with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to try to run off with it. I'm going to go to my fate, which is apparently to die without ever rejoining my order, the only thing I have ever striven for my entire life. But no big deal. And number 2 probably didn't come up, given that I was just making a lot of comments in the chat.
Yeah, so you get 2 XP from the first one, I'd say.
Yeah. I was really hoping for some dramatic dying scene where I hand over the book with my last gasp, but next season, as it were.
Well, someone got that. Okay.
By the way, I think I would take an iconoclast advance, take something from another playbook.
Yeah, that is fitting. So next we have the apparatus.
I must serve. Those I serve are worth more than me. I think Wolf probably did not act until such time as it felt it had to.
But is it resolved? That's the question.
Yeah, I think so. I have served. I've heralded in the new age, so that would be resolved, I think.
Yeah, so then you get a 3 then.
Mm-hmm. There are moments of beauty in all things. Watching humanity choose its new path would probably answer into that. I don't think it's totally resolved.
Yeah, I think it's a 2.
Yeah, act swiftly, bow the heads of those who oppose your masters. Squish.
Is it resolved? That's the question.
Never resolved. There's always more people to squish.
Okay, so 2. Okay, so gonna end the broadcast. Thanks everyone.